So at the start of this week, everyone going for the secret achievements got a bit of a reprieve. I think we'd all assumed that the pack was going to disappear on Monday like it normally does. However, it has been extended for another week. I think that was the result of an administrative error. But either way, it does mean everyone has more time to try and get some of the remaining unobtainable achievements before the pack is gone. And I have sunk an incredible amount of time into this pack, trying to get the last couple of very difficult achievements in the Giant Eyes Dog and the Fire Pup. And I kind of thought by this stage that there would be a lot more of them running around in the wild because people had copied them off other teams. And then those copies had produced more copies and so on and so forth. However, that has not panned out. And I think it's partly because of the way the pack is set up. There are some problematic units that really make it very, very difficult to get these units on your team in the first place. And also kind of end up removing them during battles as well. So for instance, we've got a Donkey in this pack. Obviously, if you manage to get a Fire Pup or a Giant Eyes Dog and you play it at the back in order to try and allow other people to copy it with the mirror, Donkey is going to pull units to the front. And so I would imagine there probably are some teams that are playing those units at the back, and then they face someone who maybe could have copied it, but instead the Donkey pulls the unit to the front and it gets knocked out before the mirror can be used. And there are some other things as well. There's Cockatrice, which I assume is included purely because it's another way to get the rock. However, I'm not sure that was really necessary. Basilisk makes it very easy to get rock in the early turns, and Cockatrice can also end up turning the backmost unit into a rock, oftentimes a token, and make it impossible to be stolen. Unless you use anglerfish, of course, but not everyone is going to have anglerfish available. Most people are only going to have the mirror. So what we're looking at here is a run where I'm trying to set up a method for getting Fire Pup to the back of my team and therefore allowing other teams to copy it. And there is also the slim hope that the opponent will be running Falcon at the back, and then when I lose to them, the Falcon will clone the Fire Pup as the last unit on my team. It is a bit of an awkward setup, but I think it is relatively reliable in terms of actually getting a Fire Pup to the back of your squad during a battle. The problem is just obviously facing those opponents that are going to A, beat you, but also have Falcon at the back for the copy. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Turtle at the front, Big Dodo second. We actually find another turtle here, which we do need, but maybe I'm not going to take it yet. I can't remember exactly what happens in this particular game, but yeah, I think we are going to take the second turtle. And then we need to have Seagull with Onion, and then Cerberus last. So the idea is that the turtle at the front gets extremely high attack from the Dodo, knocks out the front unit in one shot. Fire Pup spawns from the Cerberus, it gets Onion from the Seagull, and because there's an empty space at the front of the opposing team, they have to shuffle forwards, and that results in the Onion Fire Pup jumping to the back. The second turtle is necessary to replace the Onion on the Seagull and stop it going to the back, because we don't want it to be the last unit on the team. It has to be the Fire Pup for this setup to work. So at this stage, I'd had this going quite a few times and it was working. It was making the Fire Pup go to the back, and there were plenty of rounds where I was winning with one or sometimes two Fire Pups at the back of my team. But despite that, I just haven't seen a single team in the entire 1.5 weeks of playing this where they had a Fire Pup on their squad. So I'm not really sure what that means. I guess that means maybe my teams aren't staying in the pool very long. Maybe people are running into them and not losing. That's a possibility. I'm not really sure. I think it's kind of difficult to explain. And I've had many of these runs, some of them where I'm winning early, some where I'm winning late. So there should be a good number of stealable fire pups at different stages of the overall pool. But we're just not seeing the results of that with the opponents that I'm facing. Now, at this stage, when I was recording this, there had been some fire pup wins posted in various discords. I saw the first one in the official Discord, but we did see another one posted. I can't remember if it was Haps' Discord or not, but I've definitely seen at least 2 level 3 fire pup wins. And so we know it's possible. And I think in those cases, both people got the fire pup just by the fact that the opposing team, it was their last unit being copied. Or maybe sometimes it's like a big Cerberus that survives and then spawns a fire pup at the very end. But you can see the setup working here. They do have a big falcon, but unfortunately it is not at the back of their team. And I think we are actually just going to scrape a draw here. But that's the setup working. The fire pup goes to the back, but because it's a tie, no one gets to copy it. Unfortunately, Angler is obviously useless unless you already have the unit in your team. And I think I probably should have just bought another waffle there to make sure the dodo's health was above 30. Okay, we're just going to take another waffle. Yeah, we finally make the correct decision. And this works okay as well. I think when the opposing team has a mushroom, the fire pup survives the first hit, so it still gets to jump to the back. And then you can see we now have a back falcon on this squad. And my team is clearly not good enough to beat them. So we are actually going to get the opportunity here to copy the fire pup. And there were some games where I had a fire pup on the opposing team, but they had more than 2 units, and we didn't even get the option to take it. So now that we get the fire pup, we have to try and work out what the best way to win from here is. Because although this probably is the most reliable setup for getting a fire pup onto your own team, it probably isn't the best position to be in to try and win from here. So I think we take the stingray, we get the free pancakes from the seagull, and then we'll bring in the fire pup and get pancakes on it as well. Take gingerbread to make sure that the turtle goes up to level 2. Although the seagull only being on a 12, 11 stats just isn't great. Now there's a pelican there. I probably could have frozen that pelican and looked for strawberry on the dodo. I'm not sure. It's difficult to know exactly what the best option is. You can see the opposing team is doing exactly that. They've got the pelican with dodo. And so they get the benefit of the attack and then the snipe from the salmon as well. However, we do end up beating them, so maybe I feel like at this stage what I'm doing with the seagull plus pancakes is working perfectly well. So we grab another pancakes. We have to take Quetzalcoatl to try and get the fire pup to level 3 before the end of the game. And we get a level up there. It was Cerberus plus Cockatrice. Not sure if I'm going to take either of those. Falcon copying turtle is kind of annoying, but actually this team is very, very weak for this stage of the game. And so the dodo with melon is just going to plow straight through it. We are on 2 hearts as well though, so we can also afford to lose here. Okay, now I'm thinking about Cockatrice, probably because that last team had Grizzly. Sooner or later we're expecting to run into Grizzly, 1-up Nyala, all of the normal things that you see in all of these weekly runs. Now I also am playing Fire Pup second last here. In case any of my opponents have Donkey, we don't want them moving the Fire Pup to the front and not being able to copy it. We want as many Fire Pups in the pool as possible for other people to have the chance to steal them. Okay, so we're one chocolate away from the level 3, and at this stage I didn't even have the sticker, which you get for level 3 without actually having to win. So here's our first extremely strong team that we just don't have any chance against. Huge Highland Cow, level 2 Cerberus, plus Grizzly. I think that's one of the other reasons that Fire Pup is very difficult to get, because Grizzly can end up sniping them so easily, and taking Cerberus in the first place, you're just giving more triggers to Grizzly Bear teams. So yeah, there's a few units that I definitely would remove from this pack if I had the opportunity. So we end up opting for the cockatrice here, and then I roll into a chocolate. Now we are on 1 heart, so I have 2 options here. I could level 2 the cockatrice and try and increase the chances of winning, or I could guarantee the fire pup sticker and at least have something to show for this run if we end up losing. So I think in the end I decide to take the sticker because the cockatrice being level 1 actually isn't the worst thing in the world, because often it'll mean that it turns something into a rock in the middle of the team instead of at the back, which can be just as disruptive. So yeah, we go for the level 3 fire pup, we get the sticker, and then we face a level 3 caterpillar team, level 3 Nyala, level 3 badger, and that is going to be all she wrote. Because you just have no chance whatsoever against these Nyala teams. Mushroom should never have been in this pack. It just doesn't make any sense at all. And yeah, that team actually had an angler, of course. You know, if it wasn't asynchronous, they would have been able to copy the fire pup, but that's not the way it works. So we'll just look at some of the other examples. Here's one where my fire pup gets turned into a rock. Again, illustrating the point that cockatrice is kind of counterproductive for actually spreading these achievements around. This isn't the strongest team in the world that they've got, but it's going to be good enough to beat my fire pup team. Yeah, we didn't even have any levels on it yet there. Here's another one, exact same setup, and this time we are going for the pelican, and then we end up facing this opposing pelican, and of course we're late to the party with Nyala again. You know, level 2 Nyala mushroom, summoning a 32-32. There's just nothing you can do about it. The unit gets sniped to the back, and they have double salmon remaining, plus a 32-32 summon. Next one. So this one's actually quite amusing because I end up matching with Flame. Turn 13, 1 heart, he's on. We both only have 2 trophies, but he has a very large Cerberus here, and the fire pup hangs on with 1 HP. So we get the opportunity to steal it with the mirror. And now I think I have to sell the stonefish. Maybe I should have kept the stonefish and sold one of the hedgehogs, but probably the only chance I have here is to just keep drawing for as long as possible until I can freeze like 3 Nyalas in shop and a mushroom. But we give the fire pup garlic just in case it allows someone else to steal it if it happens to survive. I'm not sure if it can survive at this stage given the fact that we've got so many hedgehog blasts with mushroom. But I guess it does get extra health from the Quetzalcoatl. And then next team has Nyala, so that's going to be GG's for this run as well. And yeah, the fire pup doesn't have enough health to even survive anyway. So I think those are the 4 times that I've had fire pup out of 30 plus hours playing this pack. So yeah, I think if you don't have a lot of time to commit to this, probably don't even bother trying to get this achievement. So here's an example where I actually end up getting 3 fire pups in the middle of the game at the same time. Pretty rare for that to happen because the units that the fire pups fight usually have higher stats than them, and so the onion doesn't seem to work. We end up narrowly losing there, but again the seagull went to the back because we didn't have a turtle to replace the onion. Here's another one where we face this pelican team. They also have a Cerberus, although I don't think there's any way for the fire pup to end up at the back. But we managed to actually win this battle with 2 fire pups on the squad at the back. So, I mean, it would have been great if lots of people had actually faced that team, but for whatever reason, I don't think anyone did.